What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to PG-13. I'm Eli.
And I'm Kamren. And today we had a pretty solid discussion on New Year's resolutions. Some of our own, some of the most popular. And
let's take a listen.
Okay, so
welcome back.
Resolutions. I know it's been a little bit into the year so far. You know, it's not the first day, but we can still talk about resolutions. It's early enough. Some of you out there may have already dropped your resolutions, which, no judgment here. I didn't even really make any resolutions. But that's what we're talking about, resolutions. And so I've got a site pulled up here that has some of the most popular resolutions. And we're just going to go through this list, talk about them. Maybe we have some stories of our own, and, you know, we'll share those when it comes to these types of resolutions. Anything you want to say?
No. My bad. All right.
Why'd you just say it like that?
Nah, I don't got anything. But the first thing on the list is exercising more, and I think that's probably the most common.
Probably. It's one of those, like, staple resolutions. It's like when you think New Year's resolutions, it's always exercise more. And so, like, it's also one of them that gets dropped a lot. It's one that I've dropped in the past. It's one that, you know, you can try and stick to them. It's a good resolution. It's not that it's bad or anything. It's just one that everyone does and most people give up on. Like, if you go to the gym and you go even if you don't start at the beginning of the year, if you're attending a gym, once it rolls around to the beginning of a new year, the gym is going to be ridiculously packed by all sorts of people. It just will be, because everyone's coming to do their resolutions. Everyone's coming to, you know, get fit and get in so much good shape. And one big problem with these types of resolutions, one problem I struggle with, is when I'm gonna do a new, you know, gonna exercise more, gonna get in shape, gonna get fit. I have a mental image of, like, oh dude, I'm gonna be so buff, I'm gonna be so cool, I'm gonna be so fit and sexy, and then it doesn't happen immediately, and I get discouraged. You know, but don't give up, don't get discouraged.
Yeah, don't get discouraged. Okay, when people say they want to exercise more, they go really big in their head. A lot of people, when they think about, I'm going to start exercising more, they think, oh, I got to start, you know, wearing the right stuff. I got to start, you know, packing protein and doing everything that every typical exercise, like every gym rat does. But for people who are just now starting out with exercising, maybe like a 30-minute walk a day, whether it's on a treadmill or just outside walking, is a great way to lose weight. Like, people don't understand that cardio is the most efficient way to burn calories. Mm-hmm. And most people, when they think about exercising more, they just want to lose weight. Usually people want to lose weight or maintain a healthy weight. And simply going to the gym and, you know, crunching curls and all of that kind of stuff, really, you know, it'll make your physique better and it'll make your muscles bigger. But if you're wanting to truly lose weight and you're wanting to go work out more, then doing cardio and running and jogging and just walking, you know, get your headphones. What I used to do is I used to go to the gym and I would usually walk for 45 minutes every time I would go, but I would set up my phone and I would get my headphones going and I would just watch a few episodes of something, and it would really zone my brain out. Like, mm-hmm. I would focus on what I'm watching and I wouldn't even realize that I was walking a majority of the time. And that's a great way to warm up before if you did want to extend further than just walking and you were going to go hit the gym after you've had some cardio, then, you know, good on you, you'll be nice and warmed up. But if you wanted to leave the gym after that, then that is also a great place to feel complete, because just walking and with the intent that you're exercising is exercise. And that's good for you, and that's a good thing for people to start doing. And maybe you'll start this year, your New Year's resolution is, you're going to go work out more. You start the year by walking, but by the end of the year, you might be, in the gym with some friends, having a full, you have a whole thing going on, a whole workout session.
All that to say, you don't have to go so big right off the bat. You can start small. It doesn't have to be so crazy. You don't have to jump right in it and just, go, be deadlifting, 1,000 pounds. You can just start really small, because anything is better than nothing when it comes to exercise. Mm-hmm. And a good segue through this to our next thing on the second thing on the list. It's pretty closely related, and that's eating healthy. A huge thing for eating healthy is like something pretty. It's a pretty simple way to start eating at least a little bit healthier is to stop eating out. Like, it's such a convenient thing to just, hit up McDonald's or something. But if you just, make some home-cooked meals, I know not everybody is talented at cooking, but you don't have to be overly talented. You can just, if you can read, you can follow a recipe. And it's really simple. A lot of dishes out there are surprisingly simple, even if it sounds fancy, or it's always something that's, thought of as fancy. It can be really simple, and it would be so much healthier to make at least just one meal. If you just go and you make a homemade dinner every day, instead of going to McDonald's or going to some other fast food place and getting a greasy burger, but instead you made spaghetti at home. It may not be the most healthy thing in the world, but it would be so much better than a quarter pounder.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not gonna say eating healthier is a New Year's resolution for me, but I will say that something I do that I have been doing a lot more is eating a salad, a small side salad with lunch and dinner. Because here on campus I can eat at the cafeteria, and there's a salad bar there, and most of the time I can use my meal trade and stuff to pay for some nice home cooked meals, so I'm not eating out all the time. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely going to be eating at the cafeteria more. Definitely going to be eating more greens.
Yeah, and maybe so it's not a thing for me. I go eat McDonald's all the time. I'm fat. I don't care. But when it comes to cooking, say you're one of those people out there who are oh, it's easy for you to say, but you can't cook worth a crap. All right, but like I said, if you can read, you can follow a recipe. Recipes are all over the place. I wouldn't say, me and Eli here, I wouldn't say that we're you just over the top professional chefs. We've made plenty of things though. Everybody knows the movie Ratatouille. All right.
I was just about to talk about that.
Ratatouille, the dish. That's actually what he made at the end. That's not the rat's name. The rat's name is Remy. Ratatouille is the dish that he made at the end that he fed to the critic, and we've made ratatouille before. It's really simple. It's surprisingly simple. It takes up a little bit of time because you gotta go slice up all your veggies and everything, but it's actually a really simple recipe whenever it kind down to it. And we've also made creme brulee, which everybody thinks of as fancy, but it's just kind of making fancy pudding with sugar sprinkled on top. That's pretty much all it is. It's really not that hard, and you can find so many recipes. Just hop on the internet, just look up whatever recipe. Uh-huh. And you can find a ridiculous amount of stuff. You hit up Pinterest. Pinterest, you can find so many recipes. I don't use Pinterest, but I know people who do, and recipes upon recipes upon recipes.
And another good healthy alternative that I personally do sometimes is I replace dessert foods for fruit, because a great dessert, strawberries and cream is a great dessert. Strawberries and brown sugar is a great dessert. Just like a handful of like blueberries or strawberries or something like that would be better than...
Yeah. I mean, and it can be a whole lot... Okay, so it depends on where you are shopping at, and I guess it depends on even what state you're in, or, where in the world you're located, but it can even be, like, significantly cheaper to go, like, grocery shopping. Like, when it comes down to it, and you, like, compare the prices of, like, grocery shopping and how many meals that will make versus eating out. Like, again, with... Because my mom, when I was younger, when she would go... She's, like, the master of, like, grocery shopping cheaply. She can go spend, like, $100 and then feed the family for a week. And it was wild. And it wasn't like we were hungry. No, we would eat, like, huge meals and have leftovers, and we would be set for who knows how long. And it was wild. I don't know how she did it, but she did it. And so I know it's possible.
And inflation hasn't been that crazy since then. So
well,
it's been big.
Some products have inflation's been a little wild with some things, but not so much
food-wise. You can still make a healthy meal, but maybe stay away from like the frozen healthy meals, because they're always crazy expensive.
Yeah.
And usually not worth it. Mm-hmm. So always, if you can, try to buy fresh produce.
And even and one thing, if you're grocery shopping, instead of going to McDonald's and you're gonna make something, you don't have to buy name brand everything. Let great value, okay, from a couple college kids, just great value is just fine. You do not need name brand. Like, if you can find mac and cheese, if you're gonna buy mac and cheese, you got great value mac and cheese versus like Kraft
Velveeta
mac and cheese or Velveeta mac and cheese. The price difference is like out of this world. It's ridiculous, but it's not really a huge difference in flavor. It's just the price is different.
Yeah.
Even quality may not be a huge difference.
Don't pay for the name.
Yeah, exactly. Don't pay for the name. If you can find the same thing for cheaper, but it's off-brand, it's fine.
Yeah. Chaotic.
Controlled chaos.
Yeah. Chaotic. I'm
going to the interwebs for this. You talk.
Yeah, okay, so I'm a college student, right? I have stuff to do all the time. I'm a music major, so it just adds stuff to the schedule all the time. And I personally keep a planner. Planners are one of the most efficient ways to know what's going on, when it's going on, where it's going on. And if you don't have a planner, you might think it's dumb. You might think, planners aren't for everyone.
I actually started keeping one this semester.
Did you?
Because I have like a billion assignments in the first week, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna write when these down.
Yeah.
These done so I get them done.
One of my biggest regrets is not keeping a proper planner in high school. That would have saved my butt in a lot of situations. And if you're listening to this, even if you're in I don't know how old you are, you might be in elementary school, you might be all the way in college, you might be a senior in college, you might be older than us, who knows. But planners are good for any age. Yeah. Because it is just a handy little tool you can keep on you, keep it in your backpack, keep it on your desk, just anywhere it might be convenient. You can always have your schedule for the week, for the day, for the month, for the year.
Exactly, yes.
And it's such a great way to stay organized.
Yeah, so what I did with my planner is I just have like a small sketchbook. It's actually in my backpack right here.
That is a cool backpack.
It's just a little sketchbook, and then I just opened it up and I wrote the days that things are due and what is due what days, so I know how much I have and when the days it's due.
Yeah.
I'm planning on hitting up a store and getting like an actual planner, so I can organize this stuff better. But as for like, it didn't have to be anything over the top special. Like, I mean, because that's working for me. You can just get a piece of notebook paper and just write a couple dates and then some things you need to do on them.
Yeah.
Like, my mom, she would have a planner, like a calendar thing on the refrigerator, and she'd write like what meals we were having on what days. Mm-hmm. And it was just really simple. It was like, oh, what's for dinner tonight? I can just go and look. And sometimes she would just write going out to eat because she didn't feel like making anything. And, that's okay because I still love a good, McDonald's every now and then.
Yeah. And another way you can get organized is, if you don't have one, having a morning and a nightly routine can make the difference sometimes. Because whenever you have a morning routine, it can make getting out of bed a lot easier.
Yeah.
If you know what you're going to do, like in what order, by what time. I wake up every morning at 8 o'clock because I have a class at 9:30. And I know what I'm going to do. As soon as I wake up, I know what the steps are for me before I leave my dorm and go to class. And at night, it's a similar thing, but it's kind of, backwards. I have my getting ready for bed, then going to bed. And that's also a great way to be organized. In the morning, have everything where it needs to be, have your keys in the same place, have your wallet in the same place. And you can be out the door in a lot less hassle if you're just a little bit more organized with your time in the morning and in the afternoon.
Yeah. So that's time management. But, there's also, like that's time organization. There's also physical organization, like laundry. Something I think I've always been bad about is, I get my laundry done. It's clean, but I'll like lay it out on like a chair or a stool in my bedroom, and then it'll sit there forever, and I'll like never put it in my closet, and I'll just like pick from this like pile of clean clothes that I have, and I'll wear that for the day. I always think about it. I'm like, oh, I need to get this done like tonight. I'll get this done tonight. I see it in the morning, and I like, oh, I'll get that done tonight before I go to bed, and then I'll be like, later in the night, and I'm fixing to crawl in bed, and I'm like, nah, screw that, it'll be fine, I'll just do it, the next day, and then I'll do it the next day, I'll do it the next day.
Procrastination.
And then, yes, I am a horrible procrastinator. If you want to know one thing about me, Cameron Hawes, it is that I am an absolutely horrible procrastinator. It's a legendary procrastinator. I don't know if I've met someone who's worse than me. I don't know. I know I'm absolutely horrible about it. And I wish I wasn't, but I am. But yes, with physical organization. So if you're out there and you're younger, if you're still, living with mom and dad and they yell at you, clean your room. All right, this is just for you. Something about cleaning your room that I learned as when I was younger was that I could get away with cleaning my room if I just kind of rearranged some stuff properly, just so it looks less messy. It's like, oh, there's something in the floor. They like pick that up and like set it up, and then just like slide it next to your dresser so it looks like it's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge difference, a surprising difference. Something that also makes a huge difference about how clean your room will look is making your bed. I don't make my bed. I'm going to sleep in it the next night. I'll just leave it how it is. Whatever. But if you want it to look clean, and if your parents are yelling at you, clean your room, just make your bed. It makes a surprising difference whenever there's a made bed. Like, the floor can be just like covered in crap, but if like the bed is made versus when the bed is messy, it makes a huge difference. It really does. I don't know why, but it do. Probably because your eyes are drawn to the big object in the middle of the room, which is your bed. And it looks all clean and, made, and your pillows are all made right, and it looks so spiffy. And those are just a couple little simple things that you can change and, that you can do in your room, make it look more organized. Have different places for stuff. A filing cabinet, if you go through enough paperwork and stuff. I don't know how many of you out there do, but if you do, there's a small filing cabinet could make a big difference, rather than having your papers kind of sprawled out everywhere. Just throw them in there, and they can be situated and organized so you know where to find them. A whole bunch of things like that can you make a big difference in your life, make you more efficient, make you feel better, feel cleaner, feel nicer. And that brings us to the next thing on our list, number 4. That is learning a new skill or hobby. This is a resolution that I don't know that I've ever made.
Yeah, I've never told myself I was going to learn something new at the beginning of the year, or I was going to do something new.
It's something I've done, but I've never done it as a resolution. I don't think. Like Duolingo, yeah. Everybody knows what Duolingo is. Yeah, I've tried to do that a couple times. It never worked out, but I don't know that I ever did it as a resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Learning another language, that's a pretty popular thing. It's something I still would like to do. I just need to be more committed to it before it actually happens, I think. Which a big thing with that I found with starting a new skill or hobby, like this one for us, PG-13, you could throw that in here.
Yeah.
And I guess we did kind of start it after the new year. I didn't ever think of it as a resolution, though. We just told ourselves
we were going to push an episode. We were going to push out our first episode before...
We planned for Christmas break.
And, I mean...
I guess we technically did. It was still Christmas break whenever it came out. But we didn't really do it as a resolution. But I guess it kind of lined up to be one.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things, like I was saying with it, is just starting. When it comes to resolutions, one of the biggest... the biggest wall to overcome at the beginning is just starting. Once you first start, then it becomes easier the next time, and easier the next time, and easier, and so on, until it becomes a part of your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And, it can be the same thing with, like, a skill or hobby. Set apart 15 minutes a day to dedicated to this thing that you're wanting to start, this thing that you're wanting to learn. It didn't even have to be a huge amount of time. Just... just a little bit of time every day set apart, and you'll find that it becomes easier every day once you started, and then it becomes a part of your schedule. And so, like, every day at 3:00 in the afternoon I am going to sit down and read a book. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what you're gonna do, but I've got a lot of books I need to read.
Yeah, I need to read more. A new skill that I've thought about picking up, well, not that I've thought about, that I'm going to, is guitar. I want to become proficient in guitar so I can become a guitar major in college. And that's something I want to work on. That's a skill that I want to work on. Learning piano.
Yeah.
That's also something I want to do.
You're also a music major. So.
Yeah. So those are things that I naturally... tend to do as my hobbies, is just anything music related. I'm an editor now. I like to produce music. I like to produce podcasts, all of that good thing. Eventually producing some YouTube videos. Those are some good hobbies, I guess.
Well, yeah, I guess for us, since that's exactly what we're doing. Something I like to do is doodle.
Yeah.
This might sound a little gross to some people, but it's fine. All right. In my bathroom, I keep a sketch pad and a pencil. So when I'm like just taking a dookie or something and I'm going to be in there for a while, I can tell I am. I have a little sketch pad and a pencil that I can just like doodle on to entertain myself while I'm in the bathroom, because I don't bring my phone in the bathroom with me usually. That's gross. By the way, there's a lot of germs that show up that way. But I'll have like a little sketch pad, and it just stays in the bathroom. It's just the bathroom sketch pad. I don't like bring it out anywhere. It just stays in there. It's for when I'm pottying or something and I'm bored in the bathroom. Then I sketchy sketch. I'll draw a landscape. I draw a house. I'll draw, I'll write down plans to take over the government. I don't know.
For some of you, cooking might be a new hobby that you might want to pick up. For you healthy eaters out there who want to start eating healthy this year, learn to cook.
Exactly.
That's a good thing. You could be on Iron Chef by the end of the year if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Live life to the fullest, which is the next thing on this list. Living life to the fullest. Don't do anything stupid that's going to get you put in jail. But don't sit in your room all day and not socialize with people and just sit in the darkness and be depressed all day. You know, I understand, you know, there's a whole mental illness aspect of life. People have depression, it happens. But living your life to the fullest is something that I started whenever I got into college. And I have not been happier since I've started living life to the fullest and living for myself and really learning how to, you know, navigate life. It's a great thing to start doing at the beginning of the year. And hopefully by summertime, you know, you'll have things evened out the way you want to.
That was a really seamless transition. I don't know if you caught that. I don't know. You like went through it so quickly. You were talking about learning to cook and then living life to the fullest. Just like jump. That was really quick. Living life to the fullest. Something that maybe not everybody would be able to do this because it costs money, and that is traveling. Living life to the fullest. Like, you know, like take a little trip. It doesn't even have to be a long trip, just like a day trip.
Take a road trip.
Exactly.
With some family or friends.
Just like, I don't know, maybe you're free over the weekend. You don't have to work that weekend. And you want to go somewhere that's nearby, just a couple hours. Just drive there. Go up there for one day, hang out, spend the night, come back the next. You know, it can work. There's so much that you can do. People limit themselves, I think, a lot when it comes to things like this. It's like, oh no, I could never do that. But you can. You just got to do it. You got to, you know, plan it and just do it. Just do it. It's like a there's so many other aspects to living life to the fullest, and that'll change based on person to person, because maybe what somebody considers living life to the fullest is, you know, sitting on a couch. You don't get up ever. You know, maybe your living life to the fullest is like hanging out in a library all day, every day. That would be your dream life. Like maybe your idea for living life to the fullest would be just where you're at right now. Maybe you're already doing that. Maybe you love every aspect of your life and you don't want to change a single thing. And if that's the case, I am happy for you. I greatly happy.
Yeah, maybe you are living life to the fullest right now. Maybe you're sitting here listening to this podcast, surrounded by, you know, some of your best friends. Maybe you might be on a road trip right now, and you're just listening to a podcast to, you know,
kind of pass the time.
And, you know, living your life is doing the things you love every single day. Like, you live life once you go out there and learn how to live. I don't know if that makes sense. You want to live. You don't want to just exist.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't.
Don't be satisfied with just simply surviving.
Yeah.
Live. Don't survive. There's a difference. If you're out in there and you're living, you're doing something with that life. You are living life rather than just basically just surviving because you feel like you have to, or, you know, because you don't want to do anything else. I understand, again, that sometimes you don't have the money to do things, and that I understand that completely. But there are a lot of things that you can do still, that you don't need a whole lot of money to do to change your life, even in just small ways.
Yeah, like, I like to think of my life like a video game. I think it makes everything so much more interesting. And it was
Are you the main character?
I am the main character of my own video game. And in my own video game... Yeah, okay, here's how this kind of situation went down, right? This was a whole, like, moment of realization for me. I woke up in the morning, right? I was snoozing, I wake up, my day's starting. But I decide I'm not going to follow my morning routine. I'm going to go step outside first.
Change it up.
Yeah, I'm going to go step outside first and see what life, like, let's see what life is doing right now. So I just went and I stood outside. And it was just, in my brain, I realized that the world is just a free roam zone. And there's nothing that's really stopping me from just going and doing things. As long as it's legal. Don't do illegal stuff. Illegal stuff is bad.
Do not get caught. I mean, don't do illegal things. That's bad. We do not condone illegal activities here on PG-13.
Do not do illegal things. But just know that if you're out there in the free world right now, and there's a park that's just, that's in your town, just go to the park, bro. Just get in your car, drive over there. Nothing's stopping you unless you're like in high school and your parents are saying no, then like whatever. But we're in college. I'm a college kid now, right? I'm talking to you fellow college kids who are out there living life as a robot, bro. Go outside every once in a while and just stand in nature, because you will realize that there is so much more to life than what you might be living right now. I realized that there's so much more to life than what I was living. There was a whole universe of things a universe of opportunities that I was not able to take because I was not looking for them. But I one day just thought to myself, my life is an adventure now, and I am in adventuring mode, and we're gonna go do something today that I'm gonna remember tomorrow. And that's what I did. I make memories every day. I live life like there's not gonna be a tomorrow. Yeah. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed, but you listening to this podcast right now, you are alive. You are living right now.
Maybe.
Yeah, don't.
You might be a zombie.
You might.
If you're a zombie, we still love you.
We still love you, but I'm talking to the alive people right now. If you're alive, then live. There's nothing stopping you from living your best life except for yourself. Most people are in their own head thinking about, I can't live life, I can't do this, I can't do that, what if I can't do this, what if I can't do that? You will never know unless you try. And people just need to go and try a slice of life. Yeah. People don't do that often, and once you do, you will be forever grateful.
So, it can be really simple. It doesn't have to be anything big to live your life to the fullest. Here, grab a friend, grab a significant other. Go by yourself if you don't have friends or anything. Grab a snack. Just head out to, like Eli said, a park, or maybe just walk off into the woods. Just find
a trail,
a nice, peaceful place. Just sit down, eat a snack, or don't. Just sit there and just enjoy nature. People don't enjoy nature as much. I feel like it's always just us. Even us. We're sitting behind a bunch of screens right now. There's 3 screens in my vision. Not all of them are on. 2 of them, but still, we're sitting back here talking. But just go sit down and enjoy. Listen to the wind blow through the trees. Watch the little squirrelies jump around and play. That snack that you brought, snack on it. Don't throw your trash on the ground. If you throw your trash on the ground, you're a litter bug, and nobody likes you. Nobody likes you. If you litter, you're bad.
Yeah.
But it can be really simple. You just step out on the porch of your house. You don't even have to go anywhere. Just step outside and just sit on a chair, sit on the ground, lay in the grass. I don't know. I wouldn't advise laying in the grass in the middle of the summertime. You might get bug bites, but it can be really simple. And we can move on to the next one on this list. One of the resolutions is to save money or to spend less money, which is the same thing, but it'd be that way sometimes. This is something I don't have a huge problem with.
I do.
I don't spend money. I always look at stuff and I'm always just like, I don't know if I need this. I don't want to spend it. I don't want to call myself greedy, but I like having money in my bank account, and I don't like spending it when I do. I want to keep it there.
See, unlike Cameron, my brain, as soon as it sees something remotely interesting, is like, you know what? We need that. We want that. We desire that. I buy the most nuisance things all the time. What are you looking for? Well, I buy things I don't need all the time, and I regret it often. A lot of the times, a week later, when it's just sitting there in a drawer, and I'm like, I could have saved my money on that. Save your money. Learn to budget. Budgeting is a great thing. I'm going to learn how to budget this year. I might make a resolution today. I'm gonna learn how to spend my money more.
A little late in the year. Just a few days behind.
In the year.
But that's okay.
Yeah,
a few days behind, but
yeah, I'm gonna learn to budget better this year. I'm gonna work on that. For sure.
It's a good thing. I mean, I'm not telling you never spend any of your money, save it all. There's things people need to buy, and crap costs money. I hate it. I wish it didn't cost money. I wish I could just have things. I wish I didn't have to spend money to get things I need. But sometimes you do need stuff. Like whenever starting college, I needed a new computer. So I needed to buy one, and I had to save money for that. I spent the money, and I got a nice little computer. One that's gonna get me, the one that'll last me years, one that'll last me through college. It was a big amount of money, but it was a necessary purchase. Then there's things like that. And maybe you're out there, you're listening to this, and you're just like, I've got so much money. I can spend it all. I can spend it all on whatever. Hear me out, bro. You can spend your money, but you can spend it in a different way. Charity.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's your money. You can do what you want with it. But this is just a pretty common thing that people talk about or people want to change throughout the year, and that is to just save some money. And it's a good one.
Okay, the last one we're going to talk about is spending more time with family and friends.
This is a great thing.
Yeah.
It's something I'm not so good at all the time. I'm pretty antisocial. Not to toot my own horn, but when it comes to some of my family, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but it's true. When it comes to some of my family, I don't communicate very well with them. Not because they're just mean or rude, or I'm mean or rude. I'm a little smarter than a lot of them. I am. That's just the way it is. I'm a bit more of a nerd, whereas a lot of people who are around here in my family are more like, let's go, shoot things and blow stuff up and break things, which that can be fun sometimes. I'm not dissing that. It's just it's not always a thing I'm into. And when I want to sit down and talk, I might talk about this game I liked, this game I played I liked, or some nerdy thing. But they wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to communicate very well with them. I have a different interest than most other people in my family, but that doesn't mean you can't that doesn't mean you can't spend some time with them. Sit down and play a board game. I don't like card games very much, but there are some board games I like. There's a board game, Clue. Don't know if you've heard of it. It's pretty popular, I think. Mm-hmm. I love that game. I love that game so much. I always win. That might be why I like it so much.
Just good at Clue.
I'm just really good at Clue. But play a board game. Play a card game with grandma. Like, don't regret it whenever don't regret it in the future whenever you're looking back and you're like, I should have spent more time with so and so. I should have spent more time with grandpa before he passed away. Like, things like that happen. I don't have either of my grandpas anymore, but I do have my grandmas, both of them. And, rather than sitting alone in the living room of grandma's house watching my phone, I could sit at the dining room table with everyone else, with the rest of the family, play some card games, make some memories. Don't regret the time that you do have with these people. And they don't even have to be the older people. Life happens, and like Eli said earlier, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. Even think about it this way: whenever you pass away, what do you want your family and friends that you leave behind to think of you? That's something that my mom always said, because me and my brother, we didn't get along very well as kids. Like, we get along a whole lot better now, which I've talked about it before. I get along better with my brother after he moved away, like after he moved halfway across the country, which is sad. I love my brother, and I'm pretty sure he loves me. It's nothing like that. It's just we didn't get along very well. And whenever we would fight, my mom would always say, like, don't leave on such an angry note. Like, don't yell at somebody, I hate you, and then, like, not talk to them for forever. Apologize. Forgive, all that. You know, it's things that can seriously make a huge difference in somebody's life. And my mom would always put it the way of, like, if you were to say something really hateful to your brother, and then something happened, and say you died, like, if you got, like, a car accident the day after you, or, like, that next hour after you just yelled at your brother or your sibling, I hate you so much, and then you died in a car accident, that would be the last thing you left with that person, was, I hate you. And I don't know about you guys out there listening, I don't know about you, Eli, but that's not the imprint I want to leave with my life. Not at all. I got really deep there for a second, but yes, spending time with family and friends is such a hugely important thing. It's something I need to work on as a person. Like, I recognize that. It's something I need to do. Something I need to get better at. Passing it over to you. Yeah, that'll work. Blink. Right. Yes, it'll do it at midnight.
Yeah. Spending time with friends and family and stuff, especially those who were with you before you moved away to college like I did, you really start realizing how fast life is, and, you know, you won't have all the time in the world with your family. Yeah. So spend it while you can. They aren't going to be there for you and with you forever. So spend time with them while you have it. Friends come and go. And some of the best friends that I thought I would never lose in the entire world, I barely speak to these days. And you just have to make sure that the time you have with them, it's worth it. And it's the same with family.
Yeah, definitely. Don't take time for granted.
Don't take time for granted. But speaking of time, we're running out for this episode.
What a segue. But yeah, okay, so this episode was a little less goofy than our first one, but that's okay. I still say that was a huge success, and I hope you enjoyed, and yes. I hope you'll check us out on all those platforms that we mentioned in the first episode. We are up on YouTube, we're up on Spotify, we're
up on SoundCloud, we're up on Spotify, and we're up on YouTube. Go check us out there.
Yes, absolutely. Just PG-13 with a question mark. You should be able to find us, and I hope you will. I hope you enjoyed, and that's a wrap.